Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to talk about my favorite mediums to use for creating backgrounds and your adult coloring pages. The good news is you don't have to buy anything expensive here, and there are so many different mediums you can use. It's pretty versatile, but these are the ones that I use the most. Some I should probably use more, and I have a few examples as well just hanging out next to me. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is distress ink. Now, distress ink was actually one of the first items I had purchased for doing backgrounds in my adult coloring pages, primarily because back then I watched Zucchini Kitty and that's all she used, but she does way better than me. She actually can color a whole page with the inks. I can't do that. So yeah, she inspired me. And so I started purchasing them. And they are expensive, but there's ways to get them cheaper, like waiting for sales, buying used ones on eBay, because you can always buy refills. So tons of ways. You can also get the small ones. I have the full-size ones, but you can get the small ones and they are way more affordable. So these are what they look like. Distress ink. They come in a whole range of colors. I just grabbed a few out to show you. I usually apply them with these makeup brushes, inking brushes. Before they were popular for inking, they were called makeup brushes, but now you'll probably find them as inking brushes. And I'll leave a link to my favorite sets in the description below. But I usually use those. And then you have a couple ways to use them. So you can use them just flat, or after you apply them, you can spray some water and lift and kind of get a little effect here. But for an example, I have done this one here with distress ink, and I love the way it turned out. And I purposely gave her a cute little halo effect. And then same thing here. I did this one with distress ink, and see how you get the little splotchies? Like that's just the look. So distress inks, that is one option. And it does not have to be distress ink specifically. You could use any brand of crafting ink. There's a lot of cheaper ones out there too that you could use. But they may not act the same as distress ink. Okay, then my next favorite is, I'm just trying to get these all in order here. Not distress crayons, gel crayons. So for gel crayons, as an example, I've broken out my King Art ones. However, I tend to use King Art and Faber-Castell gelatos the most. Now they're just these soft, well, jelly gel crayons. But what you do is you put them on a palette, and then just like with the inks, I use my inking brush, pick it up off the palette, and then I swish them all over the page. You can mix and match colors, you can do one color, and honestly you can sit there and blend, and they are by far the easiest and most versatile out of all of mine, I would say, because they are tacky when you first apply them, but once they dry, they're good. Unlike other mediums that require like extra, assistance to dry, or you have to seal them. So here's some examples. I did this one here with gelatos. I did this one, I think this was with the King Art ones. I usually use one or the other. They're my go-to. Like if I find a color's not in gelatos, I will go to King Art. There's also many other gel crayon brands. So I'm not saying specifically you have to use this brand. Take the idea or concept of the product I'm talking about and go from there. So this was also gel crayon. In fact, I think this was a King Art gelato mixture. All right. So another option is pan pastels. I just grabbed a few here. You can apply these with cotton swabs, but the best way to apply is with the special tools that they come with, and you can get a ton of colors. These are expensive, so if you don't want to do pan pastel, any chalk pastel will work as well as a background. So both are an option. Chalk pastels you can get really cheap. Like I used to have a Sargent Art set. I think I spent like 12 bucks on it, and I would just scrape a little off onto the page directly and then use a cotton ball and swish it all around. So same thing. Pan pastels for me are just a little easier because they're smooth, they're in the pan, you pick them up with your tool, less messy, I guess. So here's an example of one done with pan pastel. Like I said, you can get tons of colors. They usually come in tubes stacked on top of one another. I bought these little cases here for mine. So I have like a few huge ones I didn't want to break out for the video, but I just put them in color order. These are my metallics, so that's why they're kind of lonesome right here. But yeah, it works really well. The only drawback is you need to dust them off of the picture where you get it on, and then you do have to seal it. So I use Grumbacher. There's a final fixative from them that works really well for like pastel type products. So they're one of my favorites to use, and I think it usually turns out pretty good. I need to use them more often. Okay, not last, we have more, but another one is watercolor. Any brand of watercolors. I just grabbed my Paul Rubens for picture's sake, but I think I actually did this with Prima Marketing. Any watercolors. Watercolors themselves, honestly, especially in adult coloring, you don't need to go buy Schmincke, Daniel Smith, all those expensive artist grade ones. Go buy a cheap palette, and most books will take them pretty well. So I did this with watercolor, and then I went back and did Mod Podge for just an added effect. But it worked well. It didn't bleed through, although it's hard, I guess, because it's black. But this was really fun, and that's always an option. Watercolor just can be a little harder. So if you're brand new to like adult coloring, maybe wait a little bit till you get, to know the paper and how it reacts, because too much water or paint will cause these pages to pill. They're not made, for watercolor. They're not watercolor paper. Some pages will buckle really bad. But yeah, once you get the hang of it, watercolor can be fun. I do feel it's not the fastest medium. So far, I would say gel crayons are the fastest, but they do create a fun effect. And then if you're worried about like the crinklies, you can either iron your page out or honestly just close the book, put some weights on it, and let it press itself. Honestly, it's the most action my my weights ever get is flattening out adult coloring pages. Okay, another option is water-soluble crayons. Now I have Neocolor 2 out, but you don't have to use Neocolor 2. In fact, I have an entire playlist on watercolor crayons because I did a battle featuring multiple brands. So please check that out. I did everything from Sargent Art to Lyra to, gosh, I don't know. Oh, Crayola. So many. So don't have to be these. I do enjoy, though, my Neocolor 2s, I'm not going to lie. So they basically, you just color them right onto your page and then activate them, and you can do a second layer where needed. You can also put them on a palette and reactivate them and paint them on. Really, it's up to you. Okay, the last one, gotta find a page where it's an example, but the last one is going to be using your own pencils. So, pencil backgrounds are by far the most time-consuming and hardest ones to do. So I tend to leave them for small, teeny weeny ones. Like, look at that sky. There's just 2 blue Prismas. I think I might have another one in here where I did a pencil background. Oh, yep. So this purple, this is all a pencil background. But again, small spaces. I have a book that will or a page that'll be like a forever whip. It's in a Clara Markova book. I'm doing the background entirely in polychromos, double page spread, and the background is pretty much the whole page. So this is like the final option. Unless you really, really, really love your pencils and layers, I would say go one of the other routes. Okay, so just to recap, my favorite items for making backgrounds. Now this is just my favorite. Please, by no means is this a final list. Also, please by no means write anything in the comments about how I left something out or I ignored something. These are my personal favorites for creating backgrounds in my pages. Always want to throw that disclaimer out there because there are dozens of other ways. So, water-soluble crayons, like I said, gel crayons, ooh, that one's not closed, watercolors, pan pastels, distress ink, and of course, your pencils. So, as you can see, there's tons of ways to do backgrounds. I'll leave links in the description below to my favorite background products, including some that I featured here, along with tools that make them easier. But really, this is just a jumping off point to help you get started, and I hope this helped. Make sure you check out my other videos. I do have live streams where I've done backgrounds twice now, live, just to give you some ideas. So go check those out next. I will try to leave them in one of the boxes on the screen somewhere. So until next time, take care. Bye now.